Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me explaining to you the reasons why I dropped out of my sorority. I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I've kind of brought it up in other videos and I said let me know if you'd like to see this. Plus a couple of months ago I've been putting out like videos about going to Auburn University, and since then I've gotten a lot of messages on Instagram about, hey, should I join a sorority? What are your thoughts? Blah, blah, blah. So I thought it would just be easier to explain to you why I dropped out of my sorority at Auburn University. Now, if you're looking for like a drama-filled, juicy gossip video, this is not for you. This is just me stating the facts on why the sorority life wasn't for me. I just wanted to give you guys my story in case you are planning on rushing or going through recruitment for a sorority in the near future. Yeah, I just wanted to give my point of view on it, but there's like no hate in this video, so if that's what you're looking for, then I'm sorry to disappoint you. You can go away. Before we kind of get into it, I do want to give a little backstory. So I'm from Alabama, and if you know, sorority life I feel like is big like all over the country, but I feel like in the South, sorority life is just like everybody kind of does it, so especially in the SEC. So I went to a really small high school and I knew I was going to Auburn University where sorority life is really huge. Alabama, I feel like it's even bigger at University of Alabama, and I have friends that go to pretty much every single SEC school I have a friend at, and pretty much all of them are in sororities. Yeah, I went to Auburn University, but backtracking to high school, everyone that I knew in high school that had graduated from high school and went on to like a college or university, whether they went to my high school or not, they all seemed to kind of join Greek life, or most of them anyway. So I just always grew up thinking it was something you had to do, especially if you went to a four-year university. And growing up, my mom, she wasn't in a sorority, and neither was like my grandmother or aunts or anything. I had to look up the word because I forgot what it's called, but you would be like a legacy to a certain sorority if someone in your family had been in one. But yeah, I didn't know anything about that. In high school, after I graduated, the summer before I went off to college, I actually met with these people in my town that were also planning to go off to universities, and we had somebody help us track down getting recommendation letters. And remember, going into this, I just thought it was something you had to do, so it was never something that I grew up, oh, I want to be in a sorority one day. Like, no, that was never the thing. So I had to meet up with a lady in our town who helped us get all of these recommendation letters together, and it was super duper helpful. It was really insightful, but at the same time, the whole time I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't really want to do this. I don't understand a recommendation letter for pretty much every sorority, I think. And so I had to call all these strangers and ask them, and I just didn't really understand that. And that's like no offense to being in a sorority, I just really did not understand what I was doing, and I still don't. So what they do, they write a letter and they send it into the sorority for you, and like, oh, I recommend her, blah blah blah. And I was super involved in high school, so I knew that would kind of help me, because you do like an online application and you submit pictures of yourself and facts about yourself and GPA and how you were involved and blah 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 blah. So fast forward to recruitment. It starts kind of, I believe it was a week before classes start at Auburn, and I had no idea what I was doing, I'm gonna be honest. So I moved in. I remember moving day, that night we had our first meeting with our Pi Chi groups, and every school is different. Ours is called like a Pi Chi group, so your Pi Chi is like the leader of a random group of girls that are incoming freshmen or whoever, and she kind of guides you throughout the week of recruitment to help you join the right sorority. My Pi Chi, I'll be totally honest, we didn't have that connection. Like, I remember the day after recruitment, she unfollowed me on Instagram, and I don't know, she was a little bit standoffish. Some people end up being best friends with their Pi Chis, but she was just not super involved, I guess, and so that maybe started out my not so great experience. I don't know. Recruitment week, every day is kind of different. You have what's called ice water teas, where you go in there and you get a glass of water. You're not really supposed to drink the water. It's really awkward. I don't really understand. Anyway, I think Auburn has like 18 sororities now, 18 or 19, I don't really know. And the first 2 days, I believe, were ice water tea days, and I could be getting all this wrong. This was a little bit ago. So you start out the first day and you visit all the sororities. Actually, it's the first 2 days, so it's kind of like split in half, and you have a chance to visit every sorority. I don't remember the exact time that you're in every single one. It was probably like 45 minutes or so, and you kind of just go you get assigned like a girl when you go in the door and you have awkward conversation for several minutes. It's not always awkward, but you're kind of having the same exact conversation all day, every day, and every single day throughout the week you narrow down your choices. And I won't go into detail, this is not a how sorority recruitment works video because that would take forever, but every day it's kind of like a different theme. You have like philanthropy day, ice water tea day, I don't remember the other days. Like I was just having the same conversation with these girls every single day, and then they rank you and you rank them at the end of every day, and that's how it kind of gets narrowed down. Now let me be totally honest, every day when I was done, I'll just being real, I didn't have like there were a couple sororities where I just didn't feel a connection at all with the girls, and then other sororities where it was just like everything was the same. So every day I was just like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I guess you'll be number one. I didn't have like, I feel like some girls go into it with this expectation, I want to be in this sorority or I'm not gonna join. I didn't know what that meant. You know that episode of The Office where Aaron is talking about Holly, and Michael is like infatuated with Holly, and Aaron's like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't get it. That's me with Greek life. Like, I just didn't get it. I know so many girls, especially like I had roommates and I just knew other girls on campus that were like in my pack groups, or I would stand in line with before going into the like meetings or like for the day or whatever. So they would all have like, they would all be like, what sorority are you wanting to join? I know exactly the one I've wanted to join since I was 12 years old. And I was like, how did you guys know about this stuff? Like, I don't know. They all were kind of the same to me. Yeah, so that's just being real. And I remember the last day, you narrow it down to 3 sororities and then you rank them. So I literally did eeny, meeny, miny, mo to decide which sorority I wanted to rank first. It wasn't that I had a bad experience with any of them. They were all just the same and everyone was so nice. And yeah, so I didn't really know what to choose. So I just literally did eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and I got the one that was at the top of my list, which was Delta Gamma. I don't know, like, I feel like once you drop out of a sorority, you're not really supposed to talk about being in that sorority, but you know, I have nothing bad to say. So yeah, I was in Delta Gamma, and I remember the other 2 sororities too. Actually, I remember one of them. I don't remember what my third option was, but I remember the day that I found out about joining the sorority, one of the girls that was like on the board or something in the sorority, she like texted me about something like a movie night we were doing that night, and I was like, I'm so excited to be a part of, I think I called it like Alpha Gamma, and she was like, I think you meant Delta Gamma. And I've never been more embarrassed in my life because I literally didn't even know what sorority I joined, because I was just like, okay, this is weird. Also, I want to kind of give you like a side note. The week of sorority recruitment was also one of the worst weeks of my entire life personally, because my mom and dad were going through a divorce, and my dad's a really bad person anyway, and he was doing just a lot of mental abuse that week and making me feel really bad about myself. And yeah, that was just a whole other sad story. So yeah, my dad was texting me every day, and yeah, that just really is a fact. I've moved on from that now, but yeah, that was another thing that kind of was dealing with my mental health that week. So yeah, you probably didn't see that coming. My dad was just not a good guy. He's still not a good guy. And so that week, back then, my dad and I still had like this like strangled relationship. That's not the word I'm looking for, but he was still kind of a part of my life, because I needed him to help me pay for college. Ultimately, he ended up backing out and not helping me at all through college, and I did it on my own. So yeah, and it was just really hard that week because I was also dealing with just him sending me mean messages about myself. So yeah, that had another thing to do with like probably I was not in the right headspace. Sorry, that was kind of like a super long explanation as to like joining the sorority, but I felt like that was necessary to kind of let you know I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what I was getting myself into, and it wasn't because any particular reason. It was just like I literally did not know. And going forward, after joining the sorority, I honestly am the type of person where I have social anxiety, like really bad. I do not do well around big groups of people. I like to be in small groups, like 5 to 10 people. I feel like with that I can talk a lot more. There were like over 100 girls in our pledge class, which a pledge class is like all the girls that join at the same time as you do. That's not including everyone in the sorority. And so for me, I met like the group of girls that I liked like the very first day, and so after that I was like, okay, I'm friends with these people, like I can see them outside of this. I don't have to, you know, be in the sorority to see them. the first semester you are part of 2 meetings a week. So on Sundays we had the new member meetings and Tuesdays were chapter meetings, and I was just like, this is a lot of time, and Sunday meetings would sometimes last a really long time, and I like to go to church. I like to be with like my friends outside of this. I like to just do my own thing. I've always been that kind of person, and so the fact that I was like paying to go to meetings, other people saw it as, oh, this is so fun, I get to spend more time with my friends, but I was just like, I have other things that I would like to do. It was just, for me, I saw it more, I don't want to be like rude, but I saw it more as like a job, and that's me. And then also other nights of the week we would have, I think they were called swaps, where you and your sorority pledge class, you will go to a certain fraternity and you'll have like this little hour-long party, and they'll all be themed. And they were fun. I've never been a frat kind of girl. Like, I've never been into fraternities. The only times I've ever been to fraternities was when concerts were happening, and I don't really know, I know maybe 10 boys that were in fraternities in college. They're all really nice people, the guys that I know, but I was more like friends with athletes. That's a whole other story. Like, I had a lot of friends like on the football and basketball team back then, but so I would rather hang out with them. So I've never been like the big fraternity girl. Like, I've never been to, the only times I've ever been to a fraternity was when like Waka Flocka, Soulja Boy, Lil Jon, those kind of people would come, and B.O.B. came, and I thought that was fantastic. I had the best time. And my friends and I would go, and we wouldn't know anybody, but we would go for the concert. Yeah, I had many a great nights at concerts at fraternities, but these swaps, I remember I would never talk to any of the boys at these things. Like, I would stand with a group of girls, and it's just there for you to like kind of mingle. Like, there's no alcohol, it's kind of innocent, you're all like 18, 19 years old. But yeah, I never liked them. I'll be flat out honest. I did not like these swaps. I thought they were awkward, and I just did not have a good time. Again, social anxiety. It's a real thing. And also you have like formals. You have a fall formal and a spring formal. I went to fall formal with a guy that I was just, a lot of people, if you're a freshman, you kind of get set up with random people to go, and I had a good time. Like, it was fun. But again, like when it came around to spring, I didn't want to go because it was just not that fun to me. I just don't like these kinds of things, you know. Like, I didn't even have fun at like my proms. They just aren't my thing. I love the getting ready and the taking pictures and the makeup and all that stuff, but the actual event itself, like, I was just like, I don't really know any of these people. It just still, like, it felt like strangers. And I think it's because back when like I first joined, I didn't do my best efforts to make friends. Now, honestly, there were so many girls in my sorority that like I may not talk to like every day, but I still follow all of them on social media and keep up with them. And I think it's so amazing because these girls are so driven. Like, we all have like so many different majors. Some of them are married now, and it's just really cool to keep up with them. And so there were no girls in my sorority that I had any hate against. Like, it wasn't like that, because I felt like there were just so many people, and like I went to a small high school, and I feel like when you're in a small environment, it's easier to have drama. If there was drama, I don't know about it. Because again, like, I just wasn't invested in it. I was more thinking of like, I had these like friends that were athletes that were like buying my food every meal, and I was just like, I'd rather hang out with them. And to kind of give you context, I'm also like a super girly girl. Like, I love and glitz and glam and like all that stuff, so I really am surprised that I did not super enjoy it. But also, going back, I was paying for all of this, and it was very expensive. I've heard some other schools that are way more expensive than Auburn, because Auburn sororities, you don't have a house, you have like a hall, and it's in like a dorm area, and I happen to live in that same dorm area, just in a different building at Auburn. But other schools like Alabama, like, people pay thousands and thousands of dollars every semester or year. I don't know, I don't want to get it wrong. But they also get fed, and they also live in a house. So I don't know, it just, this kind of depends, I guess, on where you go. But honestly, Greek life at Auburn is super well organized. I feel like everybody's nice. I honestly don't know if there are cool sororities or what. I think they were all cool. I just didn't mesh with it, I'll be honest. The only things that I do regret, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if, like, literally on the first day, is it bid day? Not bid day. Is it bid day? Whatever, where you find out what sorority you get. I wish that I would have been a little bit more social, because after you join, you have like a movie night, and I just wish I would have made more connections. I do have like I have a couple girls that were in my sorority with me that I still talk to today, and I think they're great and wonderful. but they were just, I don't know, I just never got into it. I just didn't ever understand what I was doing and why I was paying money. I was more interested in things that I could like get paid to do, like have a job, and also clubs that would benefit me. So like I got really involved with being a pink campus rep because it was more like we had a small team and we could, you know, it was just easier for me because I didn't have as much social anxiety. Basically going into the whole thing, I didn't really know what a sorority was. I didn't understand why I was learning all these secrets. I didn't understand why I was paying. I just didn't get it, and that kind of comes from just, I guess, just not knowing about it, not growing up around it, and not knowing anyone really that was super involved with it. And I guess I could have done more research before joining one. But as far as if I regret it, no, because like I said, I made so many great connections. I did make really good friends that I still talk to today, and my big, she was great. We still talk on the regular, and she was actually a pink campus rep before me, and so that's what kind of introduced me into the pink campus rep world. So I became a rep after her, and then that led to where I am today, which honestly, so being in a sorority introduced me to a friend who introduced me to pink, who introduced me to being a rep, which gave me a job. So ultimately, going back, I would not have a job if it was not for joining a sorority. So you really don't know who you're gonna meet, and there's so many girls that are literally doing so many amazing things that were in my sorority, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, I really did love all of them, but I think ultimately I had to do, I dropped after my freshman year at the end of the semester because ultimately I knew if I wanted to save up money and my dad wasn't going to pay for my school, I was going to have to get a job, which was going to take more time. So I got a job starting my sophomore year, and I knew that I would rather work and make money, and I couldn't afford it to stay in. And plus I didn't really feel like I was missing out on anything because I didn't enjoy it. Like I just didn't. And there was nothing against it. Like I think that they were all great, and going back I would have done it again my freshman year, but just my freshman year. I would not have gone on to do it all 4 years. But yeah, I think ultimately just having to deal with my dad and my parents' divorce was really hard on me, and social anxiety was really hard, finances was really hard, and just the fact that I wasn't invested in it from the get-go. And I'm not talking down on it at all. I feel like even if you have social anxiety, it might be good for you. Like it really was good for me because freshman year, I've talked about this before, most days I went home and cried in my dorm. I had a great time with my roommates and my friends, but it was just really hard because freshman year can be kind of dangerous. Like you can get into this dark depression if you spend too much time alone. And so that's why I am thankful, even though I didn't want to go to meetings twice a week and swaps and all these other things. It just felt like a lot, but ultimately I feel like that kind of saved me in a way because it kept me from being super lonely, which I am super grateful for. Again, like no drama, no hate towards anybody. I was a part of our sorority's like basketball team, like intramural sports. That was really fun. That was probably the most fun I had throughout the whole thing because I love basketball, and it was just like a fun activity, and I would definitely do that again. Even like when I dropped the sorority, I still hung out with the same people that I liked from that sorority. You know, I still would say hey to these girls in the hallway, and so it was never anything against them. It was mainly, like I said, finances, mental health, dad. Not funny, but yeah. So I ultimately feel like if you're going to Auburn, you do not have to join Greek life. I talked about this in another video where I feel like other schools you're kind of expected to, but I feel like at Auburn there's so many opportunities. There are literally over 500 clubs and organizations that you can join, and if you're interested in help with getting involved in any of those, I have nothing, like I don't work for the university, but I love Auburn University itself, and I would recommend looking into Greek life and asking questions before joining a sorority and just reaching out to people. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. No hate, no drama. Those are just the facts. If I ever have a daughter one day, I would encourage her to go through recruitment and learn about it and see if she wants to do it. That is it. Let me know if you want any more tea on Auburn or anything else. But yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry I keep touching my hair. But yeah, thank you and have a great day, and War Eagle. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye!